I was at school one day getting ready to give a presentation. You know how it feels, those presentation day jitters, the feeling of adrenaline coursing through your body. Well, that's how I felt. And I was getting ready to give a presentation on the mental health of our youth. You see, we were assigned a research project in my English class, and we could choose any topic that we wanted. I felt drawn to this topic, nearly called to research it, because I felt like it was a big problem in our society today. And upon researching, I only found out that it was an even bigger problem than I had originally thought. But hey, that could all just be on paper, right? Until I was actually giving the presentation to my class, and I saw how it affected them. I saw it in their faces how it impacted each and every student differently than it had any of the other presentations that were given that day. This is real. And that led me to developing my own personal mission of positively impacting people through my everyday actions. Because giving that presentation was just my everyday actions. And with the resources that I felt I was able to provide my peers with that day, I actually felt like I was able to help them. And clearly, there's a need for more people's help in this way, because the Healthy Kids Colorado survey in 2021 stated that 40% of 45,363 high school age students in Colorado reported that they felt sad or hopeless nearly every day for 2 or more weeks within that past year. That is 40%. That is just 10% shy of being half of the over 45,000 high school age students that were surveyed. This is real. And I've experienced it myself. I've been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, and panic disorder with agoraphobia. Panic disorder is a disorder that makes you very prone to having panic attacks. And the agoraphobia part means that you start to avoid situations where you fear you might panic. Or you start to avoid situations where you fear you'll become trapped if you start to panic. Or even where you fear you'll become embarrassed in that situation if you start to panic. But throughout all of that, my peers really impacted me. And I've also been hospitalized for mental health reasons. I've had a panic attack so bad that it took over my entire body, making all of my muscles repeatedly cramp up and making me pass out over and over and over again. This is real. But when I was hospitalized for mental health reasons, my peers helped support me to make me feel less alone in getting that help. Because feeling alone is scary in and of itself, and getting help is even scarier. So together, it makes getting help feel impossible. But it's not impossible. And with the support of my peers, I was able to feel less alone and was able to get that help. And even when I had that really bad panic attack, I was on the phone with one of my peers beforehand, and it was only when I couldn't be on the phone any longer that I slipped over the edge and I panicked. This is real. And by educating our peers on mental health, they can help empower youth that is struggling to help themselves. And that getting the help themselves part is really important. Think about it like this. One day you decide that you're going to do the dishes. So you start to do the dishes. And then your mom comes around and says, you have to do the dishes. And suddenly, you don't want to do the dishes anymore because someone told you that you have to do the dishes. And now it's not appealing. Well, getting help is like this. And even if you had started getting help on your own before, if someone forces you into it or tells you that you have to get help, then you're either not going to get as much out of it, or you're going to end up not even getting that help at all. And if someone is still avoiding help, even after all of this, remember, don't force them. That doesn't work. Instead, think about why they're avoiding help and address that. One reason that people might avoid help is because they feel like it won't work. So share success stories with them to prove that it does work for a lot of people, and it can work really well for them too. Even another reason that people might be avoiding help is because they fear that they aren't enough. They don't think that they matter enough to get that help. They don't feel like they're worthy of someone else's time giving them help. So remind them that they do matter. Remind them that they are worthy of that help. And tell them that they're deserving of that help. And the last reason that I could think of that people might be avoiding help is they think that what they're going through is completely ordinary, that everybody goes through that every day. And if it's that normal, then why should they get help? Well, you need to help them discern and remind them what is and isn't okay or normal, because people can forget that. But I guess really my message for all of you listening out there is to check in on the youth in your lives. Ask them direct questions like, have you been feeling suicidal? Because these direct questions have been shown to give the most honest answers from the person you're asking them to. And also because talking about suicide does not make someone more likely to follow through. And educate yourselves, because knowledge is power, and if you know what a problem looks like, then you're more likely to know how to fix it and help it when it arises, or even more likely to recognize that it's there in the first place. But really, my message for all my fellow youth out there listening is empower your peers to help themselves by proving to them that they are worthy and telling them that they matter, because this crisis is real. Thank you.